So hey guys, the Gary O'Neill press conference pre-Nottingham Forest has just taken place, and for me it was a really interesting press conference. I'm going to cover off all the main points that I've made notes on that. The first of all, he was asked about Sam Johnson. He said he's really pleased with that. He brings extra competition into the goalkeeping department, quality and experience. He also confirmed that Sam Johnson will be in tomorrow's squad. He was asked about Andre, the Brazilian. He said as they speak, he's undergoing a medical. Don't foresee any problem with that going through. Talked about the window not going how he thought it would, which is going to be very, very interesting. And I'm going to come on to that first because this was a recurring theme throughout his press conference, people asking about the transfer window. And I don't know, I just got a little sense that he was slightly frustrated or fed up during his press conference, watching it live. One of the things that he said was the transfer window did not go how he was told it was going to go or expected it would. And he had obviously, reading between that, because he also referenced having to tweak how they do things and fitting, doesn't want to shoehorn people into roles, that he had a conversation with Matt Hobbs straight after Anfield last year, how they wanted to play. Obviously, he's adapted this system with the four at the back. That was obviously exposed by Chelsea in the last game. And when he was asked about signing the players, he was going to say they were going to get some help to help play that system. One of the things that he said was the transfer, it's been an interesting transfer window and how it's evolved. He did say that there are certain targets that they were hoping to get that they didn't get. One, because they'd moved on by the time that they were ready to move on them, or because of the financials not being able to afford to buy them. He was asked about PSR. He confirmed that the club have no issues with PSR, or some people call it FFP, and they're doing what they can within what they're allowed to do. So read into that what you will. He did just feel a little bit frustrated that he's got this plan on how he wants them to play, but they haven't been able to get the players. Again, when he was asked about the players, he was asked about Andre, and he says, yeah, he's coming over, got to find a way. He said, we're very, very stocked in that area in terms of midfield, and got to find a way, again, to fit all these players into a system to get the best out of the squad, and that's on him. And like I said, he needed help from outside, but didn't go how he thought it would, is what I've written down here. It was talked about Jose Sarr. He said Jose Sarr knows the situation. He expects him to be here. One person that he does expect to be gone, which my dad ain't going to be very happy about, is Daniel Pedenta, as my dad calls him, Bonanza. He said this is getting close to him leaving. He's got a really big offer, which is hard to turn down for him and his family. He said since he's come back, he's worked really, really hard. They've got on really well. But he's had an excellent offer, and referred to that being from Saudi Arabia. And of course, their window is slightly later closing than the Wolves window. Obviously, he talked about how they wanted to play and making adjustments with the squad that he's got, and said that's on him. So that's going to be really, really interesting. Asked about Indres, he talked about Boubacar Traore. He said he's going to be out for a little while. He's probably going to have an operation on his knee. Which is obviously, he was probably going to go out on loan, but he's not now, and he'll be out for a few months. They asked about the Chelsea game mistakes. He talked about that. He said, well, it was out of character. They have had a big chat about that. And he was also asked if he feels let down by the transfer window, and he said no. He asked about, do you think we've come out the window stronger than before we went in? And his answer is quite interesting in there. He said, I feel like we've got a lot more depth in the squad, which is something we've talked about here on the channel, but we've lost two big players in Max Kilman and Pedro Neto. So referring to the quality, I'm guessing. So I just got a little bit of a vibe from Gary, you know, that he was a tad frustrated. He was asked if there was any more going on. He said that the guys are working upstairs on things at the moment. So obviously the Andre deal will go through at some point today. And there is other things that are being worked on in terms of potential incomings on loans and outgoings on loans. So obviously there'll be a few bits and pieces going on that. But the general vibe that I got was one of an underlying frustration that they had the plans to play the system that he wants to play, and he hasn't been able to get in the players that he wanted to enable him to play the exact system that he wanted. And that's kind of the vibe that I've got. It's kind of the thing that we've been picking up through on things. So it'd be very interesting to see what the lineup is against Forest. And what the lineup will be after the international break when everything's sorted out anyway. So, yeah, that's the press conference from Gary O'Neill, pre-Forest. Obviously, we try and keep you up to date here on the channel with anything else that happens during the day, wherever I am. As you can see, I'm at Molineux at the moment. I'm not signing, don't worry, although I would give it a go. But yeah, I'm at Molineux. The pitch is looking good, and they are painting it. They're doing a lot of work on the exterior finally. But yeah, leave your thoughts on that. Smash a like, hit the bell for all your Wolves news notifications, and leave your thoughts on what I've said about the press conference. Until the next one, always Wolves.